Good evening, everyone. Allow me to introduce the panel discussion participants. So, Dr. Saulius Masteika, Associate Professor, Computational Finance, Chair of Fintech Program at Vilnius University. Shilpa Arora, ML Director, EMEA Region at ACAMS. Professor Marinos Themistocleous, Associate Dean of School of Business and Director at the Institute for Future at University of Nicosia. And Dr. Marius Laurinaitis, Associate Professor at Mykolas Romeris University. Dear panel participants, could you please briefly describe your roles in reskilling and continuous education for the digital age? I would like to ask first to present his opinion, Saulius.
Okay, nice to be here. Hello, everybody. And I'm a chair of Fintech study program, master degree study program. So my interest is to work with Fintech in the academic environment. And therefore, I try not to only prepare the subjects to prepare a study program to find the lecturers, but also to develop workshops at conferences and to organize and chair them, like a workshop on blockchain and smart contract technologies. And the last one was at the University of Colorado. Of course, virtual, and we try, Kaunas faculty at Vilnius University, we try to cooperate with colleagues from other universities like University of Vienna from Austria, Poznan University of Economics, Poland, and there are another group of cooperation in the project related to BlockNet. We try to build a small network online course related to blockchain, and we share our knowledge and our competences in this field with the University of Copenhagen, Dortmund University of Technology, Tartu University. So my role and involvement, I should say, not only as a chair of study program, but a scientific researcher and expert in looking and preparing the projects. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you. And now I would like to ask Mrs. Shilpa, what is your role in constant learning and reskilling?
Hello, good evening. Labas vakaras, and thank you, Achu, for allowing me the opportunity to come and speak with you all. It's my pleasure. So I'm Shilpa Arora, Anti-Money Laundering Director at ACAMS. I've been with ACAMS since the beginning of this year. Before that, I spent a decade and a half working with large global banks, and I'm a technologist by background, started my career as a software developer. I'm quite passionate about bringing technology and compliance professionals together. They do keep diverting for some reason, so that's kind of what I really enjoy doing. For those of you who don't know ACAMS very well, so ACAMS is a global education firm that represents a community of passionate anti-financial crime professionals. And if you see things in numbers, like I do too, then ACAMS has got 80,000 members around the world. When I mean around the world, we are in 175 countries. And it's also very important for us that we, while we've got global insights, that we stay tuned to local needs and local solutions. So we've got 60 plus ACAMS chapters. The one closest to Lithuania is the Baltics chapter. In fact, I was in Riga in March at the Baltics Symposium. In terms of my role at ACAMS, it is to be accountable for curriculum development, our webinars, our seminars, our events, also working with think tanks, policymakers, regulators, and with financial institutions and fintechs. I'm super excited to be here for two reasons. First one is I've got some news hot off the press. Actually, it's not even in the press. Our next Baltic Symposium is going to be in Vilnius in Lithuania on the 31st of March 2021. That's right, 31st of March 2021. So please put this date in your calendar. The second reason I'm excited is we do offer short courses on fintechs already, but we are looking to develop a more broader and deeper course in fintechs. And if you're watching and you're an AML expert working in fintech, I would love to hear from you. Join our task force and make a difference to this community. That's me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Shilpa. Professor Marinos, would you like to present yourself and your studies?
Yeah, thank you very much for the invitation, and thank you very much to the organizers for this excellent fintech event. My name is Marinos, as I said before. I'm professor at the University of Nicosia, also the Associate Dean of School of Business, Director of the Institute for the Future, and the Scientific Coordinator for the MSc in Blockchain and Digital Currency. Our university, University of Nicosia, is the largest university in Cyprus with more than 12,000 students, and actually is known because it's the first in the world that recognized the importance of blockchain education. In doing so, we developed an MSc program for blockchain and digital currency, and that was launched back in 2014. So for 6-7 years now, we run this MSc with more than 600 participants so far. And it's my passion to do a lot of work within the area to consistently improve the contents of the courses, to redesign the sketch, the program itself, and to bring the best name around the world to be our co-teachers in this MSc. For instance, some of our well-known, let's say, instructors is Andreas Antonopoulos, who teaches one of the courses. Andreas is one of the well-known practitioners in the area of blockchain and open blockchains and so on. In addition to this, our university developed its own technology to issue diplomas on the blockchain, and this end up being a spin-off of the university. We also organize mini tracks and conferences around in multiple areas, including the area of blockchain. Especially in the area of blockchain, we run the Decentralized Conference, which is one of the premium EU conference with more than 1,200 participants on an annual basis. I'm also doing research, and we have a great collaboration both in academic research with other industrial and universities around Europe, but also we do applied research with great players from the ecosystems like Ripple and many others. My role at the university, apart from the things that I just mentioned, is also to overlook and run the professional training courses we offer. We offer multiple professional certificate courses in areas of blockchain, like blockchain law regulation and policy, security token and strategy, blockchain in energy, blockchain in cryptocurrencies, and many, many other. This is an ongoing task, a task that is enhanced with new courses every few months. So the goal is to educate as more and offer these professional training courses to as more as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Marinos. And now I would like to ask the same Dr. Marius from Mykolas, Romeris.
Oh, hello once again. My name is Marius Laurinaitis, and I'm representing my university. It's Mykolas Romeris University. I'm working from 2005 at this university. Before, I was senior inspector in financial investigation unit and financial investigation office of Lithuania. So I have some experience in that, in law enforcement agencies, and in pre-trial investigation offices, and so on. From 2005, as I mentioned, I work at university, and mostly it's related with my primary objective, that's law. I finished the law bachelor, the master. I finished in information technology law, and I finished my PhD in electronic money regulation of Europe Union and then outside of Europe Union. So that's why I'm here. My primary goal to be at university is to present my subjects, and mostly at least 10 years I'm presenting international settlements, regulation of e-payment. I'm working with different study programs, not even on law faculty. I'm working with financial management, with business. And from this year, we started a new study program. It's a law program. It's a law and fintech. So I am the man who is responsible for that program. I try to invite a lot of different professionals from the practical side and of the theoretical side, from other universities also. We try to combine that study with the standard law studies, and with mixed at least more than 10 different subjects related with the technology and the fintech, of course, regtech, legal tech, and so on. So that's why I'm here, and I will share my experience with you. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So here are some facts from the survey made by Fintech Hub LT Association earlier this year. Financial market participants expressed the need for training and education of their staff, for example, in AML and KYC risk management, assessment of the IT, cybersecurity, operational risks, GDPR compliance, etc. Training topics were raised because fintechs and digital economy companies are crying out for talents. So do you agree that there is a need of newly skilled digital economy professionals, or there is already enough of talents to cover these needs? What is your opinion? I would ask, first of all, to share the opinion of Saulius.
Okay. I think there is an answer from my action already. I was really interested and looking for opening the first accredited study program in Lithuania related to fintech. And it was opened not because of fancy words or something like that, but because there was a need from a labor market. There was talks with the companies. Now these companies are social partners. So they were also telling us which topics and which fields are not supported by, let's say, workforce, but at the beginning, actually, it was more interested and more, how to say, important thing to build skills for innovators and entrepreneurs, not for labor market participants. So another aspect was to open the program is related to technological development and technological achievements, which, how to say, even after a couple of years of your IT studies, you need to refresh your knowledge, your experience and practices, and especially in particular field, in such a case in financial field. So no doubt it's at the moment, at least, it is very important to educate people and in this digital age and digital and finance, in combination finance and informatics. So the field is looking for talents.
Thank you. And what is your opinion, Mrs. Shilpa, about
hi there.
Is it enough?
I see this as two separate things, right? So first one is talent and the second one is skills. Is there enough talent? Absolutely there is. Look at the generation younger to me, and they are very bright, capable individuals. Absolutely the talent is there. Do they have the right skills? This answer depends on when you ask the question. You may have the right skills today, but tomorrow they may not be relevant anymore. So there is a need to continuously kind of cross-skill and upskill. And if I go into what I mean by those terms, right, cross-skill could be, right, I am a AML specialist, but I specialize in KYC. I don't know much about transaction monitoring or investigation. So by cross-skilling, I'm learning about that. And then there's the upskilling, which is I understand one type of risk. Now I'm lifting myself up to understand anti-financial crime risk across the entire portfolio. So that is kind of upskilling. So, both these are constant, and you just cannot stop, because the moment you stop, you stand still, you will fall off. Life's like a treadmill, unfortunately. So that'll be my short answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And what is your opinion, Professor Marinos?
I think there is plenty of room for more people with blockchain skills. We know from the market that will be increasing in the near future. And in my opinion, we remain think area. Like to widespread the use of blockchain technology. The first thing, adoption. The second one is regulation, the sourcing. Adoption comes with aware education. So organizations need to be aware of what the technology is about. They should be able to understand the advantages of the technology, to understand also the limitations associated with this technology, and also the opportunities, the nature which is disruptive. I mean, technology is disruptive and affects nearly all the sectors of the economy, and which means that sooner or later their own should be affected too. In addition to this, the employees need to learn blockchain technology affects their job description. They should enhance their skills to improve their position or to respond to the changing needs of job description. Now, moving into regulation, I think that the rapid evolution of blockchain technology and cryptos basically have led many countries or organizations to regulation of them. And it means that organizations on hand need to be to adapt their practice to the demand. On the other hand, employees need to enhance their skills, as I mentioned before, to support their organizations and role, a significant role in this environment. Now, in terms of the sourcing, obviously, if companies don't have the right people with the right skills, will not be able to design a new product in the area of blockchain. They will not be able to develop anything new related to this. And we can see that currently there are many people there in the ecosystem, ranging from developers, architects, we can see analysts, just to name a few. So the answer to your question is yes, we need more talents to support this area. You can see that many organizations will move into that, will soon move into that area by asking their employees to go and enhance their skills using by adopting by learning blockchain.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. What is your opinion, Marius?
Yeah, I have the reflection. Let's take us 25 years ago when Bill Clinton signed the first e-commerce law act in the United States with the digital signature. I remember that. And I thought, it's the future. Yeah, it's the future. 5 years later, 2000, we have the first directive of the European Union of the digital signature. Everybody was talking about digital signature, about identification, and so on. Let's look at the financial sector. Banks, they showed us first e-banking services, because it's possible just to identify a person through the internet. It's nice. It's a digital signature. 2010, blockchain, cryptocurrencies. Everybody thought it's the future. It's a fintech time. We can start our own business. It's just enough to have a couple of friends, one lawyer, and that's it. And now, what do we have now? Now we have that situation. It's increasing all the time. Different financial institution, new one, old-fashioned types, and so on. And the main problem is we don't have enough not the clever, but well-prepared people to work with that new kind of the technology. It's not enough to know about standard economy, about standard financial regulation, and so on. All time it's changed. It's need to know what will be in the future. It's not regulated right now, but it will. So the first question is how? Maybe we can just define that way for regulation, not just to look back and ask someone how it will be regulated. We need to do that. So our goal at our university is to prepare a new kind of lawyers. When we will not afraid to ask, for example, of Europe Commission or even the Parliament or our regulatory, just why? Maybe we can do another way, and so on. And yes, if we look at the present moment, the main problem is that our study programs, we're still trying to chase the technology, to chase new opportunities and so on. We need to look forward. We need to develop new kind of the services. Not to look at this moment how it's regulated, but we need to invent and involve more person to do that. That's my opinion.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I have another question. There is a trend of increasing sanctions for digital economy industries. For example, Google was fined for 50 million euro for GDPR breach in France. Swedbank was given 360 million euros in Sweden for AML breaches, etc. As people related to educational sector, do you think that this might be because of different knowledge and experience level of regulators and businesses? What is the reason of such difference? Are both sides not meeting the digital economy needs? Or do you think the education is the key to close this gap between the differences? So I would ask as well, Mr. Saulius, to start the discussion.
The question was about sanctions and why they do happen. I think the main maybe problem, not problem, but issue is related to the speed of progress in technological science and in social science. If we try to find some new rules in technology, maybe it's easier and instant impact can be already seen. But if we try to write a law, a regulation, to do environment for technology to develop, so it takes more time, and this gap sometimes for innovators and for those who are willing to take risk, to be pioneers, to lead the process, sometimes they get burned at the beginning. And how to lower this issue, I think, and to close this gap between different fields and different speeds, I think education is good intermediate, and it can speed up the process in connecting businesses and regulators, because when we try to make a list of final thesis topics, for example, we can include and make topics related to both sides, a regulatory aspect and technological innovation aspect. So in this issue, academia is playing great work, I think. So it would be my answer.
Thank you very much. So what is your opinion, Mrs. Shilpa? So,
hi. So I think regulators and organizations are all at different levels of maturity, shall we say. So if I just take an example across the world, actually, of Australia, right? So in the last few years, we've seen big fines being issued, and really big fines. So we had Commonwealth Bank of Australia, and then we had Westpac now still going through its negotiations. It's quite a live case at the moment. And in this case, the regulator has kind of stood up now and is taking notice, taking action, and not letting things slip by. From a bank's perspective, I think the risk and control environment is not been as good as it should have been. There's one thing saying, yes, there's intention, but the intention might be right, the action doesn't follow, then that's not good enough. And I think that's been the difference here. Westpac has squarely blamed technology for its shortcomings, right, which is also an interesting thing. Again, I think technology is the answer to quite a lot of these controls. The days of manual controls are very, very much behind us, but deploying it right and also having the right controls for the right types of risks is very important. When it comes to kind of the more social side of things, I would like to see this as like three groups of people. So the first group is they will follow the rules. If the rules are clear, they're not confusing, they are clear, and they are elaborate, those rules will be followed. So that's your first group of people. The second group of people will question the rules. Why is it? Does it make sense? The rationalizers, I call them, right? So if it is rational, if it makes sense to them, they'll follow it. If it's absolutely making no sense, then they're likely to ignore it. That's your second group. These first two groups are our friends, right? So they want to do the right things, and it's up to kind of the regulatory regime as well as the governments to explain what is right in this context. Then you've got the third group, and this is our dangerous group. If they can get away without following a rule, they will get away to try and avoid following a rule. So for this group, unfortunately, there is some investment needed in order to put in the right risks and controls. And then you ask me if education is the answer. I mean, you will not believe, it pains me to say this, that a lot of people still think that money laundering is a white-collar crime and is a victimless crime. This is not a victimless crime, unfortunately. So the more education, and I'm not talking about education in the terms of, educating people who work in compliance. These are people, we need to educate people who are outside of the realm of professionals dealing with this. So it's the first line, it's everyone else in fintechs who are working in businesses. So that's the education. And then hopefully those who play in my first two groups, they will understand what this means, why they need to act, and we will have better compliance.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Professor Marinos, please share your views.
Yeah, in general, I agree with my colleagues, and especially with Shilpa. Something else that I would like to ask is that we need to pay more attention to compliance enforcement. This is a very, very important thing to have some regulations in the area of blockchain and cryptos and so on, but another thing to go and see whether there is a law enforcement in this area. In addition to this, and as mentioned before, this is a fast-moving environment with many developments and changes in terms of regulations, or we have new developments in many areas, like the we have the practice changing from one moment to the other, and so on. In addition, colleagues, I would like that the organizations and employees should be aware of all this and try to comply with the new regulations and be able to operate in this environment, because the right knowledge, again, I think is extremely risky to operate in this environment, and at the end of the day, you will end up having problems. We saw a few years ago with ICOs and organizations that raise money and then attention to the regulations, or didn't understand how to deal with this amount of money that they have, and they end up with thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Marius?
Yeah, I see two big sides. In one of the sides is the privacy, another side is the financial sector. So what if, with a mix, couple of men from financial sector to privacy sector and so on, I'm talking about, for example, Google and Fine. Maybe we had the guy who was very responsible. He said, look at them at the financial sector. They need to know everything. The privacy for them is nothing. They don't have any conditions anonymity, nothing. More we have, more secure we are. More we collect information, more secure from the state aggression we are. Let's look at the financial sector. They all talking the same. We need more information. Not even if you have the small transaction and so on, please provide more and more information. It's not that we need that, it's the states need that. So that means our main goal is the profit, but the state's main goal is just to secure the financial sector. If you look at the privacy object, they say, please don't collect the more information if you need. Try to collect less. It's a proportional principle. If it's enough for you to less information, don't get the more information. So the main big problem here, they try to combine the same regulation of two fields, privacy and the protection of financial sector. It's not possible to protect them equally. Privacy, yeah, it's most important things here at our age and technology age. But the financial sector things that not privacy. The secure the finance is the most important things at our days. So in my opinion, it's a main reason why we have this situation that big companies can get defined. For example, Google. Of course, Google operates with our personal data. Financial sector, banks operates also with our personal data, but banks get defined because he collects less and Google get to find because he collect more.
Yeah.
Where is the proportional? Where is the equal of the technology and of the privacy? Why the financial sector thinks that it's most important? Most important even than our privacy. Even if we do nothing wrong with that. But still, states thinks the privacy in financial sector is not so important like privacy in other technology. So here's the problem. We need
Does that mean that regulators must be reskilled?
Yeah, of course, regulators should look at both sides. Because if we look at our central banks and regulators, we just thought about the financial sector, that's it. If you ask them a question about privacy, they'll say, it's not related with the money laundering prevention. It's not related, it's completely different side. But no, it's not completely. All the new kinds of financial services are very closely related with the privacy and with the personal data protection.
Yeah,
if we look about anonymity, about conditions anonymity payments, in physical sphere, we are allowed to pay anonymously, in electronic not. And therefore, regulators not interesting. They say, it's a technology, no, it's not allowed. For the privacy protectors, they say, why? Why the financial services in physical sphere is completely different from financial services in electronic sphere? Where is the equal?
Collision.
Yeah, it's collision. So
Thank you. And now we have a question from the audience. What are the 3 main skills that will be in demand within the next 5 to 10 years? So what is your opinion? We will start in the same sequence. Mr. Saulius, would you start? The main skills in the future next 5 to 10 years in the field?
I think in fintech from the beginning was really important to have some skills of leadership. You need to have skills to take risks and to be pioneer and to work with technology. So in order to work, you need to maybe to have skills to hire good technological specialists. So these entrepreneurship skills are going to be very important. Of course, if you are talking more precise, going deeper into technological aspect, you will need to have some IT background. It will be easier for you to go in business, and therefore IT skills is important as well. Thanks.
Thank you. What is your opinion, Mrs. Shilpa? What are the main skills in the next 5 to 10 years in the digital economy?
So the first thing I would say is learn to learn. Right? So this is quite hard to say. You can't learn to learn something without actually learning something. But, the constant education piece that I talked about, so learning how to keep up and learning how to learn, that's the first thing. Second thing I would say is critical thinking and decision making. So what do you need to make a decision? You'll never have complete information. It doesn't matter what you work in. So learning to make decisions with incomplete information, that's the second thing. And I agree with what Saulius said, make technology your friend. If you are a technologist, then go and understand other things, understand the business, understand risk, understand what a risk-based approach means. But if you come from a background which is, say, law or a compliance background or a business banking background or a fintech background from an entrepreneurial perspective, then make technology your friend. There's no shying away from it. Everything we do will be more and more technology orientated in the future. So those are the 3 things I would say.
Thank you. Professor Marinos, what are the skills to be trained?
Yeah. I think the first one I can say is the flexibility to adapt to the environment, the speed of change, enormous, and decisions from one area to the other has a cost in our organization. I think part flexibility and the speed, I think, is having people who understand issues that come from different areas. We need someone who can understand the business perspective on one hand, to have knowledge of legal issues on the other hand, have kind of skills too, because this is a multidisciplinary, and we can see this in our MSc, for instance, where we allow allows students to follow any path they have. So they have services that are compulsory for all of them, but then they can split, and we have those who follow law and regulation path. The other pathway with follow a fintech and business courses, etc. And of course, we have the hard programmers and so on. We did a survey because we are MSc for 7 years now in a row, and we ask our graduates, and this is really important. We ask our graduates about how the profession has changed in the environment, and we realize that them have changed. They move either their studies while they studying in our MSc, out of them of the studies, they move into another area, and we ask for what is your current job at the moment. Occupations like a blockchain advisor or consultant, quality engineer, blockchain system architect, cryptocurrency, new thing, blockchain legal consultant, started their own businesses and their blockchain startups and so on, which is another. So we can see a variety in their ideas. Another mention was auditor, because there's a lot of interest in auditing, in auditing the crypto transactions and so on. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. And Marius?
As I always say, we need to ask the right questions. So in the future, if we will see new services, new technology, and so on, we need to know about regulation. We need to know about technological aspects of that new services of technology. We need to know about data protection feature and so on. So everything is important. Even the specific health information or even the specific medicine knowledge is also required for the future specialist, not even the law, even in the IT sector also. If we look at the near future, of course, the future belongs to the Internet of Things, all these new devices, wearable devices. If we look at payment services, of course, it will be related with our medicine data, with our biometrical data, and so on. So the main answer is just ask the right question. If you need to invent the new payment services and you need to do it safely and so on, the only one way to combine it with your body. So that means you need some medicine knowledges. If you need to combine with your body, with specific parts of your body, you need to have legal knowledges of that, related with the personal protection, and so on, related with the technological aspects. You need to ask it safe or not. Of course, you need to answer, what is it safe? It's a safe or not? If it's safe, it's related with the cybersecurity services and so on. So it's not possible to describe at least 3 or 5 different knowledges. I think it will be interdisciplinary. It will be combined all the type of the knowledges. If the lawyer will say, I am good in one field, I don't think so. You need to be good at least in 5 different fields if you want to do better your job and so on. So the main answer is just to ask right questions regarding the technology, regulation, future, and so on.
Critical thinking.
Critical thinking, yes.
Yeah, so thank you. So many skills and very different skills to be learned and to be practiced in the future. So do you think we need to raise the new skill generation to satisfy the digital economy needs, or to reskill existing professionals? Are they capable to be reskilled? The people who graduated universities years ago. So what is your opinion? Saulius, please start.
Okay, in our study program, we have students, how to say, not young, but after just finished bachelor degree, okay? And some students are already 15, even 20 maybe years after their previous studies, and they have already some experience in business. And what's the difference between them, let's say? I think more grown-up students, they ask more holistic questions. Holistic, I mean, not from one side only, not how to make more money, let's say, but how to solve maybe social aspects with the technology. They are more responsible. But from the other side, new generation, younger students, they are more open to technological, let's say, sharpness. They go more easily with riskier products. So we need both of them, both sides, and we cannot separate them. And I'm happy that we have a possibility in this field to attract students which, okay, are already 40, 50 years, maybe not 50, or around 40 years old, and they are learning themselves, and the questions are more responsible and longer, with a longer view. So, thanks.
Thank you. Mrs. Shilpa, what is your opinion?
Yes, I think completely agree. From a practitioner's perspective, you need a diverse workforce to bring everything together, right? So there's not one or the other. You absolutely need both. So the younger generation coming out of universities or even coming out of schools, as Saulius said, very open approach, a positive approach to things, ready to take on the world, take on everything. Fantastic. We need that energy. We need that enthusiasm, and we need that to make progress. Equally well, what I've seen with the older workforce, and let's not forget, we're all living to be longer and longer every year passing, right? So the number of people in the kind of 50 plus bracket in this world is going up only, not coming down. So they present a lot of experience. So it doesn't matter what they've done in the past, but they carry that experience with them, which is very useful. The cynicism that comes with it, the criticism that comes with it, the, seeing what's wrong with something before they would accept anything, that is also a very important skill, which often comes as you grow older. And both of them are necessary. Is it possible, you asked, to reskill people who haven't been skilled, for instance, in technology? Absolutely, it's possible. Some of them are not looking to become experts, but if that's their level, to take them from there to there, absolutely, it's possible. And in fact, that's what we should be looking to do as the kind of workforce changes. Jobs that were done more manually are now being done in different ways. So we will have to constantly look at reskilling existing people, definitely.
Thank you. Professor Marinos, your view?
Yeah, I totally agree with my colleagues. And Shilpa, I think we need both of them, and we have to have them, both of them, on board. If I go back to example with EMEA, I can say the oldest student that we have in our course, basically our EMEA program, is 73 years old. He's a nice guy and who runs his own business, and at the age of 7 years old, back to the university, go through a program to find out what is this blockchain about, how it can I adopt this in my university. Before finishing, ask his colleagues, his employees to go and do the same. In addition, we see so the vast majority of our participants are students, and they're not the guys that just from university, but the people have 10, 20 years of expertise in this environment. But of course, we have also people who just graduate from their bachelor degrees. They join the continue. And the good thing that we can report here is that due to the synergies they have in their assignment, they're working together, these two different groups, and we find out that they are studies, or while they do their studies, they end up working for the same organization because, as mentioned before, this is many terms of people with the right skills and so on. So since they are working together in some assignments, and they can understand that they can collaborate in a good manner, and so the one offers a position to the other student, and they end up working for the same company.
Thank you very much. Marius.
Yeah, I can take the example. if you finished university 20 years ago and you want just to update your knowledges and your skill, you will spend a lot of time to find the correct literature, to find open access databases and so on. You will spend a huge amount of the hours of your self-educated. If you ask the university to do that, university will show you the small box with at least 8 different subjects, and he will say, if you need to update your knowledges in fintech sector, you absolutely need to know about this one, and so on. So the answer is yes, we need to help them to update their own knowledges, and we can do that with not new study program, but with some kinds of the courses, or just some type of the seminars, or even with the open lectures and so on. It's our duty as a university. For the new generation, yeah, we can combine, or even we can just move them in one on our side. We can update our study programs each year, even each semester. It's obligatory for us. It's not possible to educate them for 10 years old program and so on. We need to update all the time. But the main question was about the elder workers.
Yeah.
Yeah, for them it's quite hard to educate themselves. So it's our duty to help them, just to show them at least.
Is it possible?
It's quite easy to do. It depends on us and on the students.
Okay, thank you. Now we have a question from the audience. Public education overall is far behind the world we live in today. What are the initiatives to prepare the new generation for the future rather than chasing the technology? What do you think? Is it possible for the universities to play this role? Is it possible for the international organization, training organization to help to educate the people? What is your opinion? Mr. Saulius, would you start?
On international, let's say, background, I think it is really important to cooperate, and first of all, to find the lectures in all the fields. Okay, it's a new area of science, and in order to be the leader, you need to go deeper and deeper in the subjects, and I think specialization is really important. Let's say one university can specialize itself, let's say, in fintech and IT security. Another in fintech and, let's say, finance, management, payments, and so on. Another one maybe in supply chain management and blockchain technology in general. And as you can see, we have already different fields of science: social, technological, and of course I have mentioned law and juridical issues. So another partner is needed. So at least faculties, or even better, universities, must combine their knowledge, and maybe therefore Vilnius University started a tech hub where different faculties are connecting their knowledges from faculty of economic fields, finance, technological, law, and so on.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Mrs. Shilpa, what is your opinion? How to enhance the preparation of the new generation?
I think continuous education, right? So what I said about learning to learn and keeping on top of things. So if you look at kind of ACAMS and what ACAMS has to offer, there's multiple tracks. Like you can go and do a certificate or a certification if you're more experienced. You can attend a conference such as the one you're conducting now, which is, exchange ideas, listen to people who have two very diverse opinions and then formulate your own opinion. That is a different form of learning. Look at case studies. So I mentioned the 2 banks in Australia have received good fines. Doesn't have to be even near home, right? So look at these case studies and learn from those. And ACAMS also has got its reporting arm. So it's moneylaundering.com, which is news as to what's going on in the rest of the world. It's very easy to see. If my interest is in fintechs or crypto, set up alerts to see what is going on. think about it, discuss about it with people, attend webinars. There's so many around. ACAMS offers free ones as well as paid ones, but so many around. So it's kind of that continuous cycle of don't ever stop, keep going, and also read different things, different sources, different magazines. So that kind of gives you your continuous education piece. You mentioned public education. I don't think it stops at, okay, you finish school and therefore you've learned what you need to know for life. No, that's just the starting basic foundation, right? Okay. And then you have to build up from there. It never stops.
Thank you. Mr. Marinos, what is your opinion? How to help digital economy?
Yeah. I will agree with Saulius when he talks about specialization. I think this is a key issue here. It's one thing to attend, let's say, some courses that are available, but that they are not going into depth. If you have to know, if you want to go in depth into a specific topic, you need to study and explore all the different approaches to this area. Just not attending a course that is available online is not enough. I agree also with Shilpa that attending small pieces of courses offered from Marius helps a lot. But of course there are two different things. It's one thing about, let's say, small pieces of awareness you can have mobile or through the computer, and you can up knowledge from time to time to go for proper education offered by university. What I see here is a kind of this is, let's say, university. Experts from the universities can join their forces, develop joint programs, and offer people. So this is maybe that we may have in the future. We know joint programs that exist. Doing this in a decentralized way, where more than 2 or 3 universities can participate, in something new that we can experience in the next course.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, my answer will be, I think it's important to show them that self-regulation is a good thing. It's the easiest way to blame universities, that we're all time chasing the technology. Yes, we are. But still, if we have a new one, let's take, for example, blockchain and the cryptocurrencies. 10 years ago, the student asked us, how it will be regulated? The main answer, we don't know. Central bank says it's not e-money. Student asks again, how it will be regulated? We don't know. The European Justice Court says it's a currency. Great. Is it currency? So it's financial sector. Let's ask the financial guy. Let's ask our guy from our faculty. Maybe he will explain what if it will be money in the next 5 years. Not matter that the European Union don't say that. So my main answer is we need to learn them self-regulation methods. We need to show them it is possible to try to regulate without any implementation of the real law, just to try to flow like the river. And let's see in the future, it will be dangerous for us or not. So it's the easiest way to not chase the technology.
Thank you. So thank you, panelists, for the great discussion. Now I would like you to wrap up our discussion and to present to the audience the key takeaways. So, Mrs. Shilpa, what would you give for the audience as a takeaways from our discussion?
Okay, so first of all, a couple of reminders, as I said before. So 31st of March 2021, we are in Vilnius and we would love to meet fintechs from Lithuania there. So do come and join us, put the date in your calendar and look out for the press releases from ACAMS. Secondly, if you are an AML expert working in fintechs and want to join our task force, I would love to hear from you. So please do get in touch with me. In terms of one key takeaway to leave you with, I'd say regularly ask yourself, what is the one thing I want to cross-skill on? So this is kind of taking you out of your comfort zone and, learn something new. And what is the one thing I want to upskill on that is a bit more holistic, rising up and broadening your horizon. And my final thought would be, if you think learning is time-consuming and expensive, then try ignorance, right? There is no other way. way. Learning is everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Professor Marinos.
Yeah, the takeaways, I think, are the words I mentioned in the beginning, adoption, regulation, and so on. So if you have a business, you need to be aware of the new technologies and the new developments in the area. So you have to go and reskill your knowledge or improve your skills or go back to the creation. The same with the regulation, where things change every day. So again, you need to improve your skills in these areas. And of course, to offer a job position to staff, you need to go back and educate the people and improve their skills or offer their advanced knowledge to your business environment.
Thank you, Marius.
I would say
I
would say it's just a new cycle of the internet age. So in a couple of years it will be end, and let's look forward. That's it. Let's look forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.